This is a review on the visual novel slash band management game called Rock Robin, created by Happy Backwards. I would like to note that this game is reviewed when it is still in open beta, so it's in no way the completed version of this game. So, let's start with the story aspect before we break down the management gameplay. Basically, Robin, our sassy playable character, is kicked out of her old band by her now ex, thankfully, boyfriend, and she is determined to start her own band to show them just who is better without the other. However, the people she attracts is not exactly what she had in mind to start her kick-ass new band with, but she needs to learn how to work with them and possibly befriend or even begin a romance with them. This game only features girl-boy romances, as in you play as a female character with dateable male characters, so it may not float everyone's boat. Now that we have a gist of the story, let's look at the gameplay and features. This game features Story Mode, which explores the story mentioned previously and allows us to experience 3 possible romances. There's also Open-Ended Mode, which allows us to tinker with the management gameplay freely. We'll be looking at Open Mode a little more closely later. The game claims to have around 4+ hours of gameplay, which is true, very true, because it actually took me 6 to 8 hours just to finish the Story Mode, and I'm a fast reader. So let's talk about the art. The art features some pretty awesome character sprites and CGs for certain scenes, and the background consists of what seems to be photographed images. I have to mention that certain characters only have silhouettes, meaning they don't have an actual character model. But it's okay because they're not part of the main cast, and no one cares about them. Sorry. This game also features achievements and a gallery, or a memorabilia, a gallery to let you revisit moments. Let's do a quick rundown on what this management sim has to offer. It has song discovery, where you and your band members can write music which can be performed in gigs to get money and raise popularity, and use your music that's been written to record songs to sell as singles or as albums. You can even design your own album covers, and they offer a lot of designs to choose from. Personally, designing the albums was one of my favorite aspects of the game. On performing gigs, you can actually play the memory game, which allows you to maximize your popularity and money stats. However, if you get a little bit tired and a little bit sick of playing the same game over and over again for a few hours, you actually have the option to turn off this game in the options menu. Or if you're playing on easy, you can just completely skip over it and it won't affect your stats in any way. Which is amazing, I love that they added this option. You can also visit the forum, where you can read public opinions of your band, which is actually quite entertaining most of the time, or downright hurtful. That's the internet for you. You'll be able to manage your band members' learning and stress levels. You can talk to them, gift them items to improve relationship levels, and possibly even reduce stress if given the right gifts. To elaborate a little bit more on the stats which can be raised in the game, which is star quality, writing, and music, they actually are stats that can fluctuate. So instead of building something up and having the stats stay that way, after a while if you don't practice something, that stat will actually drop down, which can be a little bit annoying to manage when you're trying to keep everything in top shape. I got used to the mechanic after a while of playing, so it wasn't so distracting afterwards, even though I was used to more static numbers. You can upgrade your band via instruments, upgrade housing, which could reduce stress and unlock new scenes, and there are unlockable characters for open mode by playing the story mode. And finally, this game features deadlines. Yup. As I mentioned before, this game took me 6 to 8 hours to finish, and I admit one of those hours was actually dedicated to my first band failing since I didn't meet some deadlines. Still, the game does a pretty good job of informing when certain deadlines are about to arrive. The first time I failed was because I didn't fully understand the game mechanics, and I was messing around. As a result, I ran into a deadline. The second time I messed up was because I was trying to unlock certain scenes for characters. Basically, there are certain scenes that are only unlockable after a certain date. As a result, I was trying to extend certain events longer than they should have and ended up running to a deadline out of the blue. I feel like in an average playthrough, you would not run into the problems that I had. So I feel like it's not that big of an issue, and it's only a minor setback of reloading the game. If you're worried about unlocking all the scenes and not wanting to spend a lot of time trying to figure everything out, there's actually a guide already included inside the download for this game. Alright, let's talk about open mode next. So first of all, I would like to say that it's actually not completed yet, so everything here that I mentioned is just from what is out at the moment and what I've experienced through my playtime. You can create a new band, mess around with the management options in creating new albums, new singles, do more performances. You can recruit characters you met in story mode, you can talk with them, befriend them, and possibly even romance them. That's right, it's actually a continued story. You get to meet new characters, you can romance some of them, you can even continue romances. So, on to the conclusion. Basically, it has a rocking story. Okay. It's a management sim, so if you like these type of games, you can try out this simulation. Or if you want just the story, you can basically just skip the management part by turning off the memory game and playing on easy, so that's a great option too. I love the character interactions, and many times I genuinely felt invested in the main character's struggle. If this sounds like the game for you, I implore you, please try. And that's it for the Rock Robin review. I hope you enjoyed this, and please check out this game because it's amazing. That's my opinion. It's amazing.